All right, check this out. We're on another episode, another issue from 1981 of the Kinah. More great articles, more great write-ins, more great info dropped in this newsletter or newspaper, whatever type of pamphlet these people were sending out in the 80s about the Kinah. Now check this out. 14th century fresco depicting Holy Spirit as female between the Father and on the left, the Son, on the right. Hmm. Now, if this is from the 14th century, they already whitewashed them and they already probably race washed them. But as we saw in the last investigation we did, I'm surprised they didn't completely gender swap the Shekinah celestial mother in the middle there. But this is not all it's going to say. Let's get the actual article about this and many other very, very interesting articles because apparently there's whole entire groups of women writing in, bringing the evidence that the Shekinah, the Holy Spirit, is a feminine aspect of the Elohim, even linking it with Melchizedek. You got moms. You remember, their role is to just stay in the kitchen, right? As women writing in, using the wisdom of Solomon, using references that we use today in the 80s, writing in, talking about the Holy Spirit. Interesting. Let's see what else we can get on this. There's always going to be a Trinity aspect through nature, an aspect of threes through nature. And those who know numerology will know that all numbers are important. Every number stands for something. But three specifically, you see three all throughout nature. Things come in threes. The 12 tribes of Israel were split up into groups of three, as it says here in this article that you can screenshot. Um, Everything has a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect as well, a push and a pull. Uh, you have the drum and then you have the stick. You can keep it going. Everything has a feminine aspect. Check this out here on the side. Eve was named after the Heavenly Mother, which is the Holy Spirit, who is a container and dispenser of all life. This is evident from the fact that the Hebrew name of Eve is Kavah. Makes a good point. The very fact that it keeps on using the word father shows that there's either a mother or a son. Now, before I told you guys to screenshot this and check it out and read it, but I'm actually going to read you something from it right now. Let's check this out. We're going to jump right up here and right up here. Terms such as Ruach HaKadosh, that's the Holy Spirit, Shekinah or Makut, Sabbat or Shabbat, Elah, Torah, were all feminine terms. Now, I'm going to read something from the other Shekinah newspaper again. It's going to even further this, okay? But let's keep on going down. Even up here, when you can read this, in the term or the word name Melchizedek, Malchi, Zedek, there's both a feminine and masculine aspect. Let me move my head out the way. You can take a screenshot of this. But again, this goes further into what we've talked about. And even further, when I read the book, A Treasure of Two Nations, I go straight up into just saying the most beautiful poetry and talking about the Holy Spirit, taking the lashings for us like a protective mother. Beautiful. Okay, let's jump up here. Another really interesting article that was in this pamphlet talking about the translation, or shall we say mistranslation. And then I think I brought out three times previously different spots. I think Isaiah they mistranslated it, where it says that it purposely says land instead of lands of Israel, or Israel's land, to make it seem smaller. So they cut it off. They dropped lands as plural and they only made it land as singular. But either way, let's jump up to here and see about the mistranslation and the purposely taking of feminine terms and making it masculine. As it says, they found up to 1,500 verses and with textual errors. The corrections were noted in the margins, showing the correct way in the Hebrew. Recently, it has been brought to light that the scholars have now determined so many hundreds of instances in the Hebrew scriptures in which deliberate changes were made from feminine to masculine terminology, God and women, The Hidden History by Elizabeth Rogers. This is a book that they're referencing from. This is from 1978. The masculine, Ya, and Va, the feminine. And again, what kind of surprised me, not necessarily because with quote unquote essentially Jewish literature, they are going to use a lot more references than I'm used to when it comes to Christians or any other type of denominations that I'm looking through who release something that would be on the Holy Spirit. A lot of it would say that they were tricked. I've read a lot of stuff that said the modern day people or the past people were tricked and they weren't supposed to be celebrating this feminine aspect or even acknowledging it. But you find a lot more places that give credence to it or credit to it. And just look it up here. They're just referencing just for quickly the book of Moses, Abraham 5:27. That is, they're going deep with it. So it's very interesting, and I'm definitely going to be looking these references up. Again, let me just read the first part of this from the other pamphlet of the other version of the Shekina magazine that I had downloaded. Man is a trinity. Everything divides, subdivides, and redivides into three parts. The body of a man was formed from his father and mother. He is predominantly masculine, secondary feminine, and is a person, therefore a trinity. He proceeds to go down just listing everything that's a trinity. The earth is a trinity, even going as far to show that our adversary comes in a trinity. The three names of the evil one are Satan, the devil, and Lucifer. Satan tempts man in three ways: to the flesh, the mind, and the spirit. Interesting. The universe, sun, moon, stars. All ancient forms of religions were built around the Trinity: Egyptian, Isis, Horus, Set. Wow. This is from a completely different PDF file, but the prophecy concerning the return of the Shekinah to Jerusalem. Again, more references I've found of things being switched or translations being purposely wrong. But with that being said, I'm going to go into further detail with this. I want to study this really further, and I don't know why I've been on this or why the Holy Spirit's been leading me to doing more research on this specifically, but I've just been finding so much on it. And with that being said, I want to make a whole reference video with it on my YouTube, going through both of these and all the other information I found on this subject. That includes reading from, again, Treasures of Two Worlds, which really just puts the nail in the coffin. I don't want to speak on that, speaking about it like it's a dead subject or something that has to do with death, but truly brings the subject to life, and I think has complete beautiful poetry and poems and terms from back in the day that our people were referencing to the Holy Spirit being a loving mother. Now there's another aspect of the Holy Spirit, I believe. I have to do more information on this, but this is what I just got from now. I just found it very interesting. I found another Shekina pamphlet or magazine from the 80s, so I thought I'd share that stuff with you and share some of the other stuff I found. And I'm planning on making a longer, way longer video on this on my YouTube. So with that being said, all praises to the Most High.